Are you serious? Are you serious? There is a famine in the land. And that famine also will not only be for bread and water, but for hearing the word of the Lord. Folks, seriously, we are in the end times now, where Jesus said there would be famines, pestilence, diseases, and plagues, and earthquakes in different places. And there would be wars and rumors of wars. And there would be nations rising against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. And oh, by the way, false Christs and false prophets will come, including the Antichrist, who will deceive many. One of Father Malachi Martin's predictions before he died in his prophecies was that the Antichrist would be possessed by Lucifer himself, and that he would be able to come and solve insuperable problems, solve problems that could not be solved by anyone else. And I wonder sometimes if hunger, world hunger, might just be one of those issues. Anyway, I'm going to tell you all about it. First, let's put a shout out right now, if we could, for www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. You see, visible signs of aging only get worse as we age because of decrease in our naturally produced collagen levels. Every decade, our skin suffers from about 10% decrease in its available collagen supply, as well as a decrease in its quality. That means you'll have lost 30% of your collagen in your body to use, to be able to naturally produce by the time you're 45. That's why I recommend you go to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. This ingredients are tasteless, odorless, but you'll become ageless as it puts back into your body 5 different types of collagen that's not from human collagen. It's plant, animal, and egg. Plant, animal, and egg collagen. Not human, of course. This is why you have to start supplementing collagen. And when I said animal, it's really fish. I need to get that right. It's plant, eggs, and fish, not any other animal. Now, this is why you have to start supplementing collagen if you want to keep your youthful glow. In the next minute, I'm going to tell you how anyone can reduce visible signs of aging quickly and easily. After years of searching, the closest thing I've found to a modern-day fountain of youth is called collagen. See, collagen rejuvenates and renews your skin from the inside out with 5 supercharged types of collagen your body needs for youthful-looking skin by boosting your collagen levels with the multi-collagen. You'll help restore your skin's elasticity and thickness while reducing the appearance of wrinkles. Try it today. 60 days, risk-free. Save up to 51% off by clicking on the link in the description, which is www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. You'll be very glad that you did that. Get started on the way to building up your health. Well, it's a sad situation that's developing, folks. Really, it is, in Sierra Leone. Our hearts are going out to these folks. It is not a good thing. Prayers for these people. And we're talking now that you see, you knew this was coming when the supply chains were manually disrupted, purposely done during the, quote, pandemic. And what it has done is forced hyperinflation in America and Europe and around the world. That's one thing, crippling people's economy. But second thing, the poorest nations of the world will suffer from famine. It's already happening in Haiti. It's now happening severely in Sierra Leone. Over 1 million people are facing severe hunger in Sierra Leone. This is a very, very sad situation, I can tell you. Our prayers are going out to these folks. It's going to require a miracle. And really, you wonder, do our lawmakers here in America, do the world leaders even care about Sierra Leone? Do they even have meetings about world hunger? If they did, they would never have allowed the shutdown of our economy during the pandemic. While the pharmaceutical companies were making trillions of dollars, the rest of the world is suffering from economic collapse. And the poorest among us will be starving. And children and the elderly will suffer the worst. There's no question about what I just said. And it is all part of what Jesus said would happen in the last days as part of the signs of the end of days. The world is at risk at yet another year of record hunger, as the global food crisis continues to drive yet more people into worsening levels of acute food insecurity, according to the United Nations and their World Food Program. In call for urgent action to address the root causes of today's crisis. And you know what? If they really address the root cause, they'd have to look themselves right in the face. Look in the mirror, because the root cause is at the top. This was manufactured famine. And I've been saying this for 2 years. It was coming. 2 years I've been telling everybody. And part of it is to try to bring about the Great Reset. So do you really think people care about these kids? Do you really think they care about these kids in Sierra Leone? Anyway, they say they're going to address the root causes. I don't believe it. And we're facing an unprecedented global crisis of biblical proportion. And all signs suggest that we have not yet seen the worst. Oh, I can guarantee that. For the last 3 years, hunger's numbers have increased, repeatedly hitting new highs, new peaks. Let me be clear, folks. Things can and will get worse unless there's a large-scale, coordinated effort to address the root cause of the crisis. And that won't happen. We cannot have another year of record hunger, but we're going to. And this global food crisis is a confluence of competing crises. Here we go. You never let a good crisis go to waste. This is how you reestablish the world order, or a new world order, with a global reset and a world hunger crisis and a war crisis and energy crisis and inflation crisis, on and on and on, caused by climate shocks. No! It's not caused by climate shocks. It's caused by war, shutting down of the supply chain. It's caused by a pandemic and outrageous mandates, insanity. That is what's caused it. I had to scream no to this climate shock. No! Matter of fact, the conflict and the economic pressures that has continued to push up the numbers of severely food insecure people all over the world. In Sierra Leone, a lean season of food security analysis that the Ministry of Agriculture conducted jointly with the World Food Program, which is so corrupt. Remember Kofi Annan? Do you guys remember even Kofi Annan? I mean, I covered this 5-6 years ago when his son was involved in the theft of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from the World Food Program. Corruption at the UN. In August, they found that the food insecurity has further deteriorated, with over 1 million people. 15% in Sierra Leone are facing severe hunger. The Food Security Monitoring System analysis shows a significant impact on the rising food prices, exasperated by the Ukraine crisis. That's war. That's, again, man-made, because war causes famine and disease, with the vast majority of households spending over 75% of their entire income just to eat in Sierra Leone. So 75% of everything they make, they have to use it just to eat. Forget about anything else. Forget about medical help. You just get sick, you die there. Building on this year's theme for the World Food Day, No One Left Behind, the World Food Program is calling for a coordinated effort across governments of the world and financial institutions and the private sector and partners to mitigate an even or more severe food crisis in 2023. They're calling for a global tax. Not fix the corruption, not stop the stupidity during the pandemic and all the other craziness that we see in the corruption, but no, tax the people globally. This includes the reinforcement of national economies, social protection systems, and regional and domestic food systems at the speed and at a world scale. One action we must take now is provide school feeding while scaling up cash transfers in the most food insecure communities so that the people's condition does not deteriorate any further, according to the World Food Program. And Forson said that with funding from Japan, Germany, and Sweden, the World Food Program is providing school feeding in Cambia, Karine, and other districts in Sierra Leone. Over 118,000 children are in desperation right now. With the World Food Program urgently needs additional funding. The United States is sending $2.6 million to provide emergency cash transfers, but that's just a drop in the bucket to what needs to be done. This is a severe situation. This is why, I think it was Mike Around the World. And I know it was Mike. Matter of fact, I've got what I actually recorded it and put it down. Here's what he said. Mike says he, the Antichrist, is coming when food shortages hit all-time highs. Mike said that 4 months ago. I recorded it to remember that. He, the Antichrist, is coming when food shortages hit all-time highs. Folks, we're racing toward that moment. We are actually racing toward that moment. I would anticipate that in the next 3.5 years, we may hit all-time highs. By about the year 2025, 2026, we could be in an all-time high food shortage. Greed, corruption, manufactured crisis to create a global reset and a new world order, a cashless society that will leave hundreds of millions, if not billions, maybe even as much as 1 billion people in the critical stage of starvation. We are seeing it. It's just beginning. Haiti, Sierra Leone, and other parts of the world, we're going to hear more and more and more, will be in major starvation crisis by probably February of 2023. We're in the last days. We're in the end times. Jesus is coming back. And I'm not going to sit here and just play like I don't see it coming. I'm not going to sit here and look, I'm not trying to bring it either. I'm just telling you what the prophecies in the Bible said. There will be severe world global famine. Matthew 24 tells us that, along with global earthquakes and apocalyptic weather and wars and rumors of wars and nations rising against nations. And they're going to blame it on climate change. They're going to literally blame it on climate change. And people are so tired of hearing about this lie. And here's the thing, I'm not saying that the climate doesn't change and isn't going to change, because the Bible says it will become more apocalyptic. But the reason it is the lie. It's not because of energy. It's not because of oil and gas. It's because of the prophecies of the end days, of the birthing pains, and the earth beginning to reel and rock like a drunkard, and these events that are happening upon the globe. So, yes, we are in the last days. Yes, I know about the 2024 eclipse. Absolutely. It will be just about short of 7 years, 6.5 years or so since the one before. It'll be on April the 8th, 2024. And it will go through America and crisscross there in Carbondale, Illinois. Matter of fact, I might even be there for that. I was talking to Rex Bear about it, and he says maybe we should get folks and meet there. since that will be X marks the spot in a little place called Little Egypt. You know, I don't know. I just know this. Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back, and that will be a big time moment. It's upon us. Have you given your life to Jesus Christ? And I'm serious. The Antichrist is coming. The Antichrist is coming. There's no doubt about this. He is coming, and he will bring probably a new world order, a cashless society, a mark of the beast system that somehow also feeds the hungry of the world. He will solve insuperable problems, maybe bring world peace and feed the world with a miraculous plan that he gets everybody behind. Who knows? But he will also destroy the holy and the mighty people, according to Daniel. Well, maybe we should go there and read that before I go any further, because people sometimes, we got new people come here and they don't even know these prophecies, and I should share it with you. I shouldn't assume everybody knows it, because not everybody's been here with me all this time. But let's read it together in Daniel chapter 7 and in Daniel chapter 8. Tells us about these events that are coming. Oh. Yeah, here it is. In Daniel chapter 8, and first of all, in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, it talks about this, verse 24, and the 10 horns out of his kingdom are 10 kings. We read about them in Revelation also. That shall arise, and another shall rise after them. That's the Antichrist. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. He's a blasphemer. And he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and the laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time, or 3.5 years. Then it goes on to say in Daniel 8 that he will magnify himself. Verse 11, yea, he shall magnify himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away. The place of his sanctuary was cast down, and a host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. It shall cast down the truth to the ground, and it practices and prospers. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. And it shall come to pass, in verse 22, now that being broken, whereas 4 stood upon for it, for the 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. In the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. This is the Antichrist. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and he shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause witchcraft, to prosper in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. He brings about peace and safety, but he actually destroys many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princesses. That's Jesus Christ. But he shall be broken without hand. That's when he runs into trouble. So we're seeing the prophecy of the coming Antichrist in Daniel 7 and 8. And then we also see it in Revelation 13 and all the things that come with it. We're living in the last days, folks, and 1 million people are starting to be in severe hunger in Sierra Leone.
Keep your helmet, keep your license, just a flesh wound. Here's your rifle, crawling up the beaches now. Sir, I think he's bleeding out, and some things you just can't speak about. With your eyes, sir, with your rifle down, down. Watch you breathing, watch you breathing out, out. Something magical did not cover someone's daughter, someone's mother. Holds her hand the plastic note. Doc, I think she's crashing out, and some things you just can't speak about. Only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just one single glimpse of relief to make some sense of what you see. With your eyes, sir, with your rifle down, down. Watch you breathing, watch you breathing out, out. With your eyes, sir, with your rifle down, down. Just keep breathing, watch you breathing out, out. Only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just a single glimpse of relief to make some sense of what you see.
I'll be back with more in just a moment.